Hello everyone, my name is Xiaojing, and today I'm going to present my pedagogy on the value of play-based learning in early childhood education. In this presentation, I will explain why play matters for children's learning, development, and well-being. Before I start, I would like to acknowledge and pay respect to the ancestors and descendants of the lands upon which we work, meet, and study. I'm mindful that within and without the buildings, the land always was and always will be original land. A common concern from families is this question: are children just playing or are they actually learning? My response would be that play is not separate from learning. In early childhood education, play is one of the main ways for young children to learn. The early year learning framework states play-based learning as a key approach rather than something extra or optional. They are not only playing, they are learning through exploration, interaction, communication, and problem solving. Play plays a central role in early childhood education because it supports children's learning, development, and well-being. Play is important because young children learn best when they are actively involved rather than passively receiving information. Play supports children's learning, development, and well-being across cognitive, social, emotional, physical, and language domains. So I see play as an effective way for children to learn rather than as a break from learning. This slide showed more specifically how play supports different developmental domains. First, in terms of cognitive development, children think, predict, remember, and make decisions while they play. Second, in terms of language development, play provides natural opportunities for children to communicate with others and create shared meaning. Additionally, social and emotional development and physical development are strongly supported in play. Actually, play does not separate these areas. Instead, children often develop them all together in one meaningful experience. I would like to give an example of a play-based activity, the pop-up community cafe. In this activity, children work together to create a cafe in the classroom. They make menus, prepare food, take custom orders, serve meals, and manage the eating space. This activity supports language development, cognitive and mathematical development, social and emotional development. And finally, it supports physical development because children carry trays, arrange tables, handle food, and move around the space. It links to social cultural theory because children learn through interaction and shared activity with others. It also links to critical theory because the educator must think about inclusion, participation, and whether all children have fair access to roles and decision making. My personal philosophy is that play is the primary way for children to make meaning, build relationships, and experience identity. I do not see play as a reward after real learning. I see it as a virtual contest for learning itself. My pedagogy is strongly informed by social cultural theory. This means I believe learning happens through participation, interaction, and belonging within a community of learners. Children learn with and from others. My pedagogy is also informed by critical theory. This perspective reminds me to question taken for granted assumptions, notice who is included or excluded, and think about how curriculum decisions may affect children differently. I also connect this to a more classical constructionist view, which sees children as active meaning makers who build knowledge by exploring and engaging with their world. In practice, this means I plan open-ended experiences, observe children carefully, and step in intentionally when needed. I try to balance the children's agency with educators' intentionally teaching methods. A successful play-based learning environment includes physical, social, and temporal elements. Physically, the environment should be rich, flexible, and inviting. Socially, relationships are central. Children need warm, responsive, and respectful interactions with educators and other children. Children should feel safe. Temporarily, children need enough time. Play cannot always be rushed. So, a successful play-based environment is not only about toys or activities. It is about designing physical space, relationships, and time in ways that support meaningful learning. Although play-based learning is valuable, there are also three challenges. The first challenge is the misconception that play and learning are opposites. Some families may believe that academic learning only happens through formal teaching. The second challenge is the assumption that free play is always fair and inclusive. The third challenge is that play sometimes needs support. Children do not always automatically reach deeper learning by themselves. My solution first, I would make learning visible by regularly exchanging information between home and the ECEC setting to encourage family involvement. Second, to provide guided participation and scaffolding when children need support. Third, I would communicate to families that play must be valued and protected because it is a fundamental right of the children. To summarize, play is a valuable and essential part of early childhood education. Play is a fundamental right of the children, and play-based learning is also a powerful way to support children's learning. My pedagogy is grounded in social cultural theory and critical theory. Overall, I think play-based learning is not just fun for children, it always a really effective teaching method. My commitment as an educator is to create learning environments that are inclusive, safe, flexible, and responsive to each children's needs. I also want to promote children's agency participation and inclusion in the program. In this way, my pedagogy is not only about supporting learning outcomes, it is also about supporting children's well-being and development. Thank you for listening. Here's my reference list.